Joining us now is Mike Golic, Jr., a former Notre Dame football student athlete and current radio host at ESPN. Mike, welcome to the fight.
How you doing, Molly? Thanks for having me.
We're excited to have you here, Mike. So it must have been so much fun walking around the hallways of ESPN this season, being able to brag about your school and how well they've been doing. What's that been like, and what's impressed you the most about this year's undefeated Irish team?
It has been an absolute joy, Molly. Let me tell you, the sports media business is ripe with Syracuse and Northwestern grads, and so I have to get it from all directions at all times. And then when the ACC net comes online, a lot of people don't realize the ACC network's headquarters is located in Bristol, right by ESPN, right in ESPN's headquarters. And so I see them all day long. And when this move to the ACC happened this year, you can imagine not everyone is thrilled that we're coming into their backyard. And so I have very much enjoyed our ride through the conference right now. 1 year, one conference championship appearance, and getting to go along this ride with this year's Notre Dame team has been so much fun to watch. Obviously, watching Ian Book and his journey into the Notre Dame record books, watching Tommy Rees, my former teammate, now the offensive coordinator for this team, one of the youngest coordinators in the country, doing such a great job. And just really this year's unique identity for this team. They're an unbelievably fast, well-coached team on both sides of the ball. And they've really made all of us alumni, all of us former players, proud with the way they've handled themselves in the course of an undefeated season so far.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so let's talk about our quarterback, Ian Book. He became the winningest quarterback in Notre Dame history against Syracuse, notching 30 victories overall. Does that surprise you that he hasn't been a bigger contender in this year's Heisman's race?
It does a bit, just because in general, the formula for Heisman Trophy tends to be great quarterback on a playoff contending team. And Ian meets those criteria, especially in the big games he's shown up in. The way that he went out and balled on the big stage against Clemson in that matchup in South Bend, what he did against North Carolina, I mean, had LeBron James tweeting about him on the road in Chapel Hill with what they did to the Tar Heels. So I am a bit shocked, but this is a Notre Dame team and a quarterback, quite frankly, in Ian Book, that knows all about the difficulty in earning respect on these stages that Notre Dame's had. He was a part of the playoff run the last time around in 2018, and he knows what they're having to overcome public perception-wise. And the best part, it doesn't matter to him right now, because him and the rest of this team are focused on playing the winning football that they've done all year.
Mm-hmm. Obviously, you have so much experience as a former offensive lineman for the Irish. Can you give us some insight in how you would be preparing to take on the Clemson front seven, given what you've seen already from the Tigers this season?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest benefits I know in my time back in 2012, and for these guys now, knowing Robert Hainsey and Liam Eichenberg and some of these great players we have up front, is they're a unit that's really together. Our offensive line coach, when I was here, Harry Easton, always wanted us around one another, watching film together, eating meals together, spending time after practice together, because you build that continuity and that communication on and off the field. And I know this is a tremendously close group. And so you see that play out for them up front so often. And the Clemson game, the first time around, was a great testament to that. They saw everything the same. Brent Venables and that Clemson defense are going to throw a lot at you, but these guys were so prepared for it, in addition to being physically up to the task. And so I think that's what we can expect again. This is a group that's incredibly experienced in so many ways on the field, but incredibly bonded in all the ways you need to go out there and execute at a high level against a team like Clemson.
Mm-hmm. So what do you think it's going to take for the Irish to take down a healthy Tiger team during their second meeting this weekend?
I think it's going to take every bit of the effort we got in the first game and then some, because now you've got an experienced signal caller on the other side. And I know DJ Uiagalelei came in and put up some historic numbers in Notre Dame Stadium, but Trevor Lawrence, a different breed. He's a better athlete. He's a guy that's an accomplished, high-level thinker in the college football game right now. And so Notre Dame's defense, who's been up to the task all year, is going to need that and then some. Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, Kyle Hamilton, having eyes not only on Travis Etienne, their star running back, but now their quarterback, who's just as viable of a run threat. But I think this unit on defense for Notre Dame is fast and furious. I think this offense for Notre Dame has taken huge leaps. Javon McKinley and what they've been able to do in that downfield passing game are going to end up being the biggest difference, because they've grown so much from that time until now.
Well, I think we can all say that we're very excited to see how this weekend plays out. And Mike, thank you so much for taking the time to be with us today.
Thanks for having me. Go Irish.